I have set my mind on sin-freeness, on sin.
Grace and peace. My name is Sister Carissa from Thusia, Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I have our elder and our pastor, our brother here, Brother Nyron Medina from Thusia as well. And we are going to ask Brother Nyron this question by the grace of God. And the question is, did Thusia Seventh-day Adventists break off from the Adventist Church? Did we pick up ourselves and form our own denomination? Are we separationists as Olatunji or Isaac Olatunji of the state line Seventh-day Adventist Church will show us or make us out to be?
Now the question that you ask here has a lot of implications to it. So if we break away and form our own group, it means everybody's supposed to be in one geographical area as one group. So that if you break away from that geographical area of that one group, you are in sin. But since that is not the case, everybody don't have to be in one geographical area in one group. Separation from that group is not the issue. If another group go in another place, that's another church in another place. And another group go in another place, that's another church in another place. However, the issue is what makes you the church. The doctrines of Adventism, Mrs. White clearly explains, makes us the church. And the Bible explains, here are the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. What makes the saints the saints? The faith of Jesus, the commandments of God. So then therefore, what will make you different to God's church is if you get a new faith and a new commandment. We have the faith of Seventh-day Adventism and the commandments of God, therefore we are Seventh-day Adventists.
So what would you say pertaining to the history of Thusia particularly on that?
Thusia Seventh-day Adventists started when we met the local South Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and we discussed to them the 1818 message of justification by faith. We met with them from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening. You hear how long? 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening. We showed them about the 1888 message and justification by faith, and we were able to convince them. And they tell us, go and come back next time and we will talk to you. So we left and we came back next time and they did talk to us. This time we met from about pardon. This time we met from about 9 o'clock to 2. But this time they were well prepared to deal with us. They brought ministers there to fight and fight and fight and fight against us. But we overcame them and we defeated them. We did overcome them, we did defeat them, and then we gave them this last statement. Since we were right, import books from Jones and Wagner on the 1888 message and let the church in Trinidad and Tobago lead the conferences in the world in discussing justification by faith. They tell us, go, we'll call you back again. So 2 weeks passed, they never did call us back. But we heard, I was in Stanmore Avenue, Seventh-day Adventist Church in Port of Spain, and heard that they were having a meeting in somewhere in the east there to go in and attack us. I said, but that is weird. They say they would meet us. And when I left Stanmore Avenue, they carried me up there by the place. The ministers and them did gather there and they started to attack us and call us offshoot, who breaking away from the church, and they say all kind of evil to us. But guess what? When they said those things to us, we actually showed them as they were there, they were wrong, and I stood up And we had a big shootout between the two factions, between the ministers and us. And we defeat them openly in front of the church. And they shut us up. They said, shut up, you're not supposed to speak. And they block us from talking. They would not let us talk until the church meeting finished. And then they met us individually saying, well, you're right, you know, this and that and that. But they never did accept. From that time onwards, they started persecuting us, disfellowshipping us from Movan Church, disfellowshipping us from other church. I was disfellowshipped at a point in time from Stanmore Avenue Church. And they did that because we were like offshoots. But we were teaching Adventism. So they started physically attacking us. Who they stick with umbrella, who had they bang up on car, and a whole set of things. And grab people in the church and pull them and all these sorts of things. So they did attack us. And that is how Thusia formed. We formed as an independent church. And we were teaching Adventism. Now there's only one other alternative there with regards to this. And by the way, I'm not lying, I'm saying the truth, because what I'm saying is recorded in the books. And since it is on print, the only way I will get away from that responsibility is if I change my story on print and speak the truth. But I have no story to change because I am speaking the truth. But it did happen that after that, a large amount of people started coming into our studies. And so, Thusia was formed.
So, Brother Nyron, one last thing. I found it weird that you were in Adventism, teaching the truth of Adventism, the doctrine of Adventism that you would have gathered from your study. And while you were in the church itself, in the general conference, or whichever one, they were calling you offshoot while you were in the church?
Yes, because they use the word offshoot to mean offshoot. Like somebody who is teaching something else. But what I was teaching was what Jones of Magana was teaching, and other brethren too were teaching that. And from the Bible, the same thing, justification being a change within. Christ came in sinful human flesh, yet without sin. You could be sin-free. Now, in the white book I wrote, you will see proposals to revival and reformation. That document itself was given to them. That is what we discussed itself. That same document, proposals for revival and reformation. So you will know what we spoke about.
Amen.
So how you could call us offshoot with that kind of teaching? They just use that as a derogatory term against you. And when Olatunji speaks, he's using offshoot as a derogatory term. To Olatunji, association with the conference makes you a real Adventist. He may say, well, no, I don't believe that, but how he explains himself, that's what he should say. Association with the General Conference. And when he be in the General Conference, he means the General Conference between sessions. And the General Conference between sessions is no authority for the church. But eventually he started to change his statement and come down to the point, pay tithes to the conference.
I remember that.
So to him, a true Seventh-day Adventist is one who pays tithes to the conference. Doesn't matter that they don't have the faith of Adventism, because he himself don't have the faith of Adventism. Yet he claims to be a true Adventist in good standing. In good standing with the conference, but not in good standing with God. And to us, it's the good standing with God that matters, not the conference.
Amen. Well, thank you, Brother Nyron, for answering this question for us. Any closing remarks?
Well, they don't seem to understand how it will all end. Mrs. White clearly tells us in Testimonies to the Church, Volume 5, under the chapter, the Testimonies Writing, she did show us how it will end. We who were not trained in the literary institution, she said, will become the head of rank and file when the Sunday law is passing, and a lot of them start to leave. We will take over and be the true pastors. And by the way, we have enough training to do that. That's how it will end. So put it this way, by that time it will be too late for him. So we hope that he sees these facts, but hardly likely would he, because he has what you call circular deception. You take a quotation he makes, you explain and show what is wrong with it, he see it, and then you just go back as if he never saw it and quote the same quotation. This is a person who has an agenda and not an honest interest in searching for truth. So you're dealing with somebody who you can barely help to accept the truth. I'm very sorry for him, and we hope that better could be done. But here is what, here we stand, and we can do no other, because it is the truth. Amen.
Amen. So thank you, Brother Nyron.
My pleasure, maybe.